Hi everybody, this video is all about planning for silly season. Right, it might only be August, you might feel like it's years away yet, months away. Before we know it, kids are going to be back at school, the nights are going to be drawing in. We're going to want to start thinking about those lovely cake-filled occasions we've got coming up soon. Certainly people will start dropping into your inbox asking you what you're offering for Christmas. Don't tell them anything until you've sussed it, right? It's such an important time. We've got to think there's Halloween, there's bonfire night, Elf on the Shelf's a big thing now. There's general Christmassiness all December. You've got Christmas. You might get a few orders for New Year, and you don't get much of a rest before it's then Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Easter. So now is the time you've got to get your head in the game, right? The first thing you've got to bear in mind is you're here to make money, right? Get your head around that the point of a business is to make money. It's not to bend over backwards trying to suit everybody. It's not to burn yourself out to the point where you don't enjoy Christmas because you're poorly. It's not to fanny about with 3-tier fondant birthday cakes on 22nd of December that you don't make a decent hourly rate on. No offence to people who want fondant birthday cakes for then, but it's not the best way you're making money unless you are in a situation, you're in an area where you can really do that really well. So it's not the time to try out new recipes and products. Don't do that. Right, don't offer everything you've ever perfected in the same week, right? You'll kill yourself doing it. Set yourself a menu. I'll teach you how to do that shortly. So you need to set a menu, set the prices, and you need to streamline your production, everything. Get your systems in place to make the absolute best of it. If you do mixed treat boxes, don't allow people to make variations, where they pull out an item and swap it for something. When you've got to imagine if you've got 30 treat boxes going out, if you're allowing people to make little changes, instead of just having this pile of 30 identical items, not necessarily a pile, but if you've got this table full of 30 identical items, once they knock on the door, you're in that moment, you've got to find which one's there. It just complicates things. Let them add on, by all means, so then you've got a separate box of the add-ons, but don't let people mess you about because they'll do the best to try. Right. If you imagine you've got a pile of brownie boxes, a pile of cupcake boxes, all the contents are the same. So if that's all you've offered, say you've offered 4 different items, it's so much easier when people come knocking at your door to find their order. Right, to choose your products that you're selling, ask yourself, what are your best sellers? What are your regulars wanting? Do they want elf cupcakes? Then do they want Christmas Eve boxes? Do they want a pudding for Christmas Day? Are they wanting gifts? Do they want a steady stream of mince pies all December? I do. I like that. What makes you the most money? What is quick to produce? Those things are normally tied quite well. What can you prepare ahead? Use your freezer, right? If you go through some products like your fruitcakes, they're always baked early because they need to mature. Make sure you've got an early cut-off point for your orders for them, or you just do a few spare knowing that you're probably going to shift them. Things like brownies, cheesecakes, your sponge cakes, undecorated cupcakes, raw cookie dough, mince pies. Test how well your recipes freeze. I don't want to say, oh yeah, they all freeze brilliantly because mine freeze brilliantly, because yours might not. So test them out now. You can do all these products in advance and just pack them really well and they'll store beautifully in the freezer for a month or 2 easily. You can make them freeze your ganache. Fondant cupcake toppers, you can do them like a month ahead. They'll store in between layers of greaseproof paper in cake boxes. They'll be absolutely fine as long as you keep them flat so they dry out flat. They can be done well in ahead. They're pure sugar, Right, think about things like how many cheesecake tins you've got. Don't sell a ton of cheesecakes if you're going to have, if you've only got 6 tins, you can only have 6 cheesecakes setting at any one point. Think about that. Think about how much fridge space you've got. Whatever you do, always make some spares and then you'll cover yourself for any dramas, for any last minute Larrys. There are always last minute Larrys. Once you've sussed what your money maker products are, Use them for each calendar occasion. Just add that seasonal twist, swap the flavours out a little bit, change the decoration. If they're what makes you money, they're what you should be doing, because you've really got to optimise. It's very seasonal, our business, and you've really got to do your best to make the money. Make hay while the sun shines. Right. Work out how many of each product can you bake in a day. How many trays of brownies can you do? How many cupcakes can you bake and decorate in one day? Or half day if that suits you better. Don't be afraid to say no to certain products, to birthday orders. If they're going to throw you out, if you need to take a full day out Christmas week to make one particular cake that you don't make a lot of money on, don't do it. Don't do it. You're here to make them. Keep that in your head. You need to don't be soft with people, right? You're running a business. Other people are not paying your bills unless they are buying the things that make you money, right? So just remember, if you take too much on, you're going to struggle, you're going to burn out, you might let people down. You don't want to be doing that. Once you've decided what your offer is, advertise early from start of October, advertise frequently. Like, do yourself a little mock-up box, a little photo shoot. Don't put one post out mid-October and assume that everybody's seen it and memorised it. Just keep on resharing it. Chase your regular customers. Once you've done a share, you've shared what you're doing, you can share that post directly into their inbox. Just tell them you don't want to miss out. While you've got them in the inbox, can you do any upsells? Do you want another box to take to work? If you've got time to make a personalised cupcake topper, I can personalise this box for a couple of extra quid. You've made a couple of extra quid, if that suits you. Do an early bird discount. Allow for this in your pricing. Get your deposits in early. Spend them on stock. Don't spend them thinking, because at some point at the start of December, you've suddenly got to spend a lot of money on stock. So make sure you use your deposits. Right. I've lost my place. Shocker, not like me. Right. You need a cut-off point, whether that be a date, whether that be a certain number of a certain product. Close your books in plenty of time so you can plan your work schedule, get all your ingredients in. You don't want to be running around at last minute looking for ingredients. No. Find out where's got your best prices as well, because you're giving yourself time. If you're buying from supermarkets, see if there's like a limit on, a purchase limit. You might need to just take a friend with you, stand behind you in queue, or go a few days running, or space it out. Take your deposits. Right, make it very clear when you advertise. I'd say have a little copy and paste message that you send to everybody with all kind of the terms and conditions that are relevant, all the payment details in, how and when they need to pay, when do they want to collect, they need to tell you. They need to know the exact order. No penciling people in, right? Give you an example. I had one year, a few years back, I had 4 cheesecakes that had not confirmed what flavours they were having until last minute. Now my cheesecakes were £20 for a plain vanilla one, up to £45 and £50 for them all piled up and dripping with chocolate ganache. Those last 4 cheesecakes, to confirm, they all went for plain vanilla. Now I could have made, so I had 4 orders at £20, whereas I was thinking in my head I was going to have 4 orders at about 40 quid maybe on average. I could have replaced that time that I then weren't using on Christmas Eve on 23rd morning to decorate these cheesecakes. I could have been knocking out a few more cupcakes. I could have made some, might have only been another 30 or 40 quid I've made, but it all adds up. So make sure you know exactly what they're having. Don't be like, oh, will you pencil me in? No, you need to know exactly, precisely what they're having. If they can't tell you, then they're going to have to miss out. Be strict. Be bossy with them. This is your business. It's your money, right? Right. Again, I've lost my place. So close your books in plenty of time. Take your deposits. Use your deposits. Do not allow them to pencil in. If they haven't paid a deposit, they haven't placed an order. No exceptions. Try to make sure either everybody's paid up full in advance, or if they've all paid 50% deposit, you know that when they come to collect, they've got that 50% left to pay. Whichever works for you, however you do it in your business, just try and simplify it as much as possible. Remember that if these customers are buying from you for Christmas, they're going to be the ones that are open to buying from you at other occasions as well, other family celebrations. So maybe put in a little Christmas card that you can have written well in advance with a little voucher in saying they can offer them a discount if they book in Valentine's Day, Mother's Day and Easter at the same time, something like that. Use it. Really, really use Christmas to advertise for the rest of the year. Right. To plan your work, right? If you work back from your last day of collection, maybe it's the 23rd, mine's always 23rd. What needs finishing off at the last minute? Your cheesecakes, can you defrost them overnight and just get up early and finish them all that morning? So have all your cupcakes finished, completed the day before. Layer cakes the day before that. Your brownies can be cut and boxed before that, but make sure you're giving all these products the right shelf life. Could you cut your brownies up and freeze them in the boxes they're going to be served in just for 1 or 2 nights? They shouldn't spoil by doing that. It should actually extend the life by a day or 2. Time block in your diary. Allow a couple of hours every day for potential dramas. Make sure you fit in your clean-up time. Don't forget your school plays and your Christmas fairs, because schools like to drop them on you at last minute, don't they? They always throw you a curveball in December. So yeah, organise Christmas week 10 days ahead. Check that you've got everything that you need way in advance. Begin your Christmas prep well rested. Schedule yourself a few days off together in a clump before all hell breaks loose. Schedule some rest for when it's all over with. You don't have to work New Year if you're knackered. Message all your clients a week prior to reconfirm everything and to chase your last payments. Then you'll also need to message them the day before collection as well. It's an absolute pain in the arse, but people are busy. People genuinely forget. This happens to me every single year. Quite often it's regulars as well that you think could know, but they just forget. Try not to let them dick you about, because they'll try. You can get your boxes all set up well in advance with your allergen labels on. You can do that a couple of weeks before. Clear your space where your orders are going to be stored once they're all boxed up ready. Organise your kitchen, get it cleaned, get your toaster and everything in cupboards out of your way. Sort out a collection and delivery calendar. You might want to have just a long day on 23rd for people to come whatever time they want. You might want them to come at specific times. You might want to do deliveries on Christmas Eve, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m, something like that, whatever suits you, but be strict with people. If you're delivering, make sure they've got a backup neighbour, because you ain't got time to re-deliver, right? If they're collecting, tell them that you're off out carol singing at 5 o'clock in evening. Keep the backsides kicked. Don't let people mess you about. They'll do you don't want people knocking on your door at 9 o'clock in dead of winter. When you are baking, when you are prepping, do your best to have no interruptions at all. Just give yourself a little bit of time to keep on top with your socials 3 times a day. No interruptions. If somebody wants to visit you, they need to be washing pots, they need to be mopping floors, they need to be making cups of tea, nipping to the sandwich shop. Don't let people waste your time. Time is money. And there's only you that's earning this, because we pretty much all work on our own, don't we? Right. Each evening of this week, make sure that you wind down properly. Just look after yourself. Have yourself a long bath. Watch Christmas films to switch your brain off. Give yourself a social media curfew. There are no emergencies with cake. If they're trying to collect early and they message you at 9 o'clock at night, that's on them. You don't have to sort that out at 9 o'clock at night. If you feel better, put a post on your social saying, right, I'm knackered, I'm logging off, I'll catch up with you at 9 in the morning. Something I do all the time, because my brain never switches off, just keep a little notepad or a memo note on your phone, so that if you're sat there and you're trying to chill out, or you're laid in bath and you just want to switch off, and something pops into your head and then you can't settle until you've written it down somewhere, keep that little notepad, keep that memo open on your phone. It just helps you to switch up. If you wake up in the middle of the night and think, oh God, what if I forget about this in the morning? Write it down. And then you know it's there. You're going to see it in the morning. You can switch back off again. Right. When silly season is over, when your big occasion is done, it's sorted, while it's fresh in your head, review it. What worked really well? What was a disaster? Please don't have any disasters. Could you have made more money? You know, did you underestimate or overestimate your timings? You remember what you've learned for next time. Right, I've gone over 10 minutes. I'm crap at keeping these 10-minute videos, aren't I? I hope this is all good, all right, and I enjoy all this planning sort of stuff. Right, go chase that cash, get planning.